ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। Ram Ram. Why did it get stuck there? Oh.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Hari Om to everybody. Yesterday, Papa has been reminding us that as a sadhaka, we have to keep on reminding that His will alone works. We forget. Some sattvic moments we may remember, but by and large we don't remember. Now, after that, when we were going through the nama within the nami, or nami within the nama, then we realized that that is why he wanted us to keep on hammering into our brain. It is not merely for Namotsava. So this, we will get it printed, 100 books we will get it printed, only for devotees. So every now and then we keep on reading it. Because theoretically His will alone, but we have trained our individuality all these years that it hardly recognizes that His will prevails. Our will only prevails. We rush up with that judgment. So that, how to tame that? So there comes the relevance, this nami within the nama. And now we have gone through it many a times. We will again go through, right from the intro. Many of us chant the divine name, both individually and collectively, yet at times chanting may become mechanical, bringing only temporary joy without leading us to a living awareness of the nami. Then only we can say it is His will. The all-loving divine presence whose name we repeat. The purpose of nama is to lead us to the nami. This nami is not distant from life. He dwells within us as the immortal spirit and expresses Himself through every aspect of our daily existence. You have to read it with the background that God's will alone prevails. Many of us chant the divine name both individually and collectively, yet at times chanting may become mechanical, bringing only temporary joy without leading us to a living awareness of the nami. Living awareness of the nami. Then only we will be able to say His will alone prevails. The all-loving divine presence whose name we repeat. So the purpose of nama is to lead us to the nami. This nami is not distant from life. He dwells within us as the immortal spirit and expresses Himself through every aspect of our daily existence. Whether in the home, classroom, office, marketplace, hospital, factory, field, or place of worship. It is by His power that we think, feel, act, and live. So, this booklet is an attempt to bridge the apparent gap between Nama and Nami. Through simple examples drawn from everyday life, it seeks to help us recognize the divine presence hidden behind ordinary objects, situations, relationships, and experiences. A total of 108 examples have been selected for reflection. They are not intended to be read or contemplated all at once. To facilitate deeper reflection, they have been grouped into 18 parts, each containing 6 examples. For every Namosava, one part may be taken up for contemplation. This enables the mind to dwell more deeply on the examples and gradually transform them into living reminders of the Nami. Mysterious, Papa's guidance. Mysterious. The examples are not presented merely as moral lessons, but as pointers to the divine presence. Though the examples and the Nami may appear different, they are in truth one. The All-Merciful Lord continuously reveals His presence through the world around us. The uniqueness of this approach lies in the fact that it does not ask the seeker to search for God somewhere else. Instead, through everyday examples, it gently points to the unseen behind the scene, the supporting power behind all activities of the manifestation, the stillness behind the sound, the witness behind the thought, and the Nami behind the Nama. In a sense, every reflection in this booklet answers the same question from a different angle. Can I recognize the Nami who is silently present behind the manifestation and all its activities? The reflections collected here are intended to transform chanting from a mechanical repetition into a living remembrance, leading the mind from sound to stillness, from Nama to Nami, from Nami to the awareness of His all-pervading presence. In this booklet, Nami refers to the all-loving God whose name we chant, who dwells within us as our innermost self, and who pervade the entire universe as the divine presence in all. When we hear this, it becomes clear. One more push of what yesterday he said, that God's will alone prevails. Ram's will be done. Hence, our mind is not still matured enough to accept it all through. Every now and then we have to put ourselves on this. Intro as well as guidelines. Number 1. A vehicle may look strong and complete from outside, but it cannot move without fuel. In the same way, words written on a page become visible only because of the white background that silently holds them. Though unnoticed, the hidden factor is what makes everything possible. The fuel in the car, the whiteness in the sheet. Similarly, within us too, there is an unseen presence, because of which we feel alive and know that we exist. We have to immediately ask, how do I know that I am alive? I am alive, no doubt. I am not dead, agreed. Because if I am dead, I will not talk. But I am alive. How do I know? Who is telling that I am? Within us too, there is an unseen presence because of which we feel alive and know that we exist. The beingness. the knowing principle in us. We know that we are reading. What is that knowing principle? That inner beingness is not separate from God. He is the Nami, already present in our own heart. Nama chanting, done with this understanding, gently turns the mind inward and helps us become aware of that indwelling divine presence. So we should not stop with fuel and then the purpose will not be served. Immediately the second part is very important. Similarly, within us too, there is an unseen presence. Because of which we feel alive and know that we exist. So immediately, instead of reading and hearing, we should ask, how do I feel that I exist? What is it that makes me feel that I am alive? Even that question is wrong, but still, there is no other way to put it. How is it that I am alive? Or the feeling of aliveness, or think. So one example can take us, that beingness. And with this background, we chant. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Like that 15 minutes we will chant. No? Now we are asking ourselves, how do we make use of this, what has been given to us? What stays in the mind at the time of chanting? How we can make it beneficial? How to derive the maximum benefit from this? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. A vehicle may look strong and complete from outside, but it cannot move without fuel. In the same way, words written on a page become visible only because of the white background that silently holds them. Though unnoticed, the hidden factor is what makes everything possible. Similarly, within us too, there is an unseen presence because of which we feel alive and know that we exist. That inner beingness is not separate. It's not separate from God. He is the Nami, already present in our own heart. Nama chanting, done with this understanding, gently turns the mind inward and helps us become aware of that indwelling divine presence. Does anybody has anything to say about this? So we read the guidelines, we try to assimilate the theme, we started chanting, and after this 3 times here, there it will be 15 minutes. And now what happens? To what extent it has helped us? How we can improve, refine? Again 3 times you will chant, see what happens. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Nothing strikes to anybody.
No, Swamiji, one thing struck me while we trying to concentrate on that, no, the whiteness and the fuel. At that time, the thought when you try to remember the substratum in a similar way, then automatically the nama chanting tries to slow down in the mind. It can't go so fast. Again, there's a break. Again, you have to try to concentrate on chanting fast. You can't. Again, you have to go back to it. Again, try to slow down. Again, the mind slows it down. Again, it goes towards it. So that time, the slow chanting will help much more than faster.
Anything else?
அன்னைக்கு ஒன்று நம்ம உயிரோடு இருக்கோம் தெரியுது அப்போ தானே சொல்ல முடியும் പിന്നെ புத்தி இருக்கு என்ன சொன்னேன் புரிஞ்சுண்டு காது கேட்கறது வாய் சொல்ல முடியாது அப்போ அது மனசுல அப்படி இறங்குறது ஸ்ரத்தையோடு சொல்லும்போது யாரோ சொல்றாங்கிறது தெரியுது நான் சொல்லலை அது சொல்ல வைக்கிறதுன்னு தெரியுது.
Good. Very good.
What is Auntie saying?
I am not telling, it is being rendered. Because to tell, that also, it has to come, the power has to come. That slowly, it emerges. Very good. Then, anything else? Everything is right. Anything else?
ஞாபகத்தை சொல்லும்போது அந்த சொல்ற நேரத்துல மனசு ஒரு தாட்சும் இல்லைமா சாமி ஒரு தாட்சும் இருக்குல்லை நாமத்தை சொல்லும் போது அது கவனிக்கும் போது மனசுல ஒரு எண்ணமும் இல்லை சாந்தமாக நிம்மதியாக இருக்குது.
நாமம் கேட்கறது. Namam quietens. Yes. See, when we read the first para, otherwise, all these things our mind will say we have already heard. He is within, he is without, all this. But when we try to hear the example, the mind gets concentrated. It travels with the example. And when we come to the next part, slowly it applies to, not to the example. That is why when chanting takes place, the example does not come. So the purpose of example is to first bring the mind to this. Suppose we straight away start, there is an indwelling presence. No. So in order to train the mind to become inward, we try to bring an example drawn from daily life, which is understandable, easily assimilated. We can understand it. It is a verifiable declaration. It is not a dictum or a dogma. So we can understand, yes, both these are 100% right. Then next leg we come. So then we drop the example, and then, the unseen power. The unseen power is there. Where from the sound comes, how does the tune come, how does it come out of it, all this, and slowly, gently turns inward. And then each one, depending upon their concentration or commitment, may draw something, some glimpse about the beingness, something which nobody can explain. A vehicle may look strong and complete from outside, but it cannot move without fuel. In the same way, words written on a page become visible only because of the white background that silently holds them. Though unnoticed, the hidden factor is what makes everything possible. Similarly, within us too, there is an unseen presence, because of which we feel alive. And know that we exist. Nobody need to tell us that we exist, So far we have not applied our mind. For all other things we want an authentication from some other quarters. But here, no. We don't need anybody to say that we exist. Where from that comes? That inner beingness is not separate from God. He is the Nami. So the power, that unseen power, unseen presence. With this, we will go to the next. When clouds cover the sun, it appears as though the sun has disappeared. Though in truth it is shining all the while. In the same way, when muddy water is treated with alum nut powder, the dust settles and the water becomes clear. So the clear water is the base, The sun is the base. Clouds, they come and go. Dirt, they come and go. Likewise, the Nami is ever present within us, but the sense of I and mine acts like a covering that hides his presence. As this ego sense gradually settles, the mind becomes quiet and transparent. Then the Nami who was always present begins to reveal himself naturally. Nama chanting with this awareness gently removes this inner covering, helps us experience his presence more clearly. Hatao. God is within your heart. You are His embodiment. You are He, but you do not know that. There is a veil of ignorance separating you from God. Remove the veil. No? So likewise, the Nami is ever present within us, but the sense of I and mine acts like a covering that hides His presence. This is also a verifiable statement because nobody needs to tell us. In our sober moments, we also feel this. When we immediately rise up to somebody's demand without any thought, and afterwards, when we settle back, we realize this. The I and me, whenever it is absent, we may not define it as His presence, but we enjoy His presence, So likewise, the Nami is ever present within us, but the sense of I and mine acts like a covering that hides presence. As this ego sense gradually settles, the mind becomes quiet and transparent. Then the Nami, who was always present, begins to reveal himself naturally. Nama chanting with this awareness gently removes this inner covering and helps us experience His presence more clearly. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Again we have to try. At this time, the example did not rise up in our mind. But with this new dimension, I am chanting, then I am not hearing. Oh, correct. The sun is there, but when the clouds come, I feel he is not there. I am chanting. When this sense of doership comes, the reality, the unseen presence is not there. The ever-present Nami. But again and again when we go through this, that means the second part we should concentrate more and more. Likewise, the Nami is ever present within us, but the sense of I and mine acts like a covering that hides His presence. As this ego sense gradually settles, the mind becomes quiet and transparent. That means only the chanting is going on. The feeling of the chanter is not there. We become one with the chanting. The chanter and the chanter become one. The drinker and the drink become one, you know.
Swamiji, ஒரு ஸ்ரத்த இல்லாம ஜெயிச்சோம் வச்சுக்கோங்க, வாய் மட்டும்தான் ஜெயிக்கும், மனசு இருக்காது. அதே இப்போ ராம்நாம் செஷன் வச்சுக்கோங்க, அந்த சமயத்துல நம்ம ஜெயிக்கிறோம், அந்த சுகத்துல ஜெயிக்கும் போது அது ரொம்ப நல்லா அது தெரியும் சுவாமிஜி. இல்லாட்டா அப்பதான் இந்த ஜெயிக்கிறது ஒரு
Who is there? Sit down, sit down.
கொஞ்சம் அந்த நாமிய தெரியும், யாரும் ஜெயிக்க வைக்கிறாங்க.
This is the training Papa wants us to do it, no? These are all the ways by which we are trying to understand. So the example enables us to first draw ourselves to him. The second explanation enables us to make it more and more effective. We'll move to the third. Then let us see. Space is present both inside and outside a house. The walls seem to divide it. But in truth, space remains one and undivided. In the same way, a single thread runs through many beads in a garland, quietly holding them all together, though it is rarely noticed. Likewise, the Nami is the one infinite presence pervading everything within and without. He is the unseen reality because of which all beings exist and remain connected. Though forms appear different, the underlying presence is one. Nama chanting with this understanding gradually expands the mind beyond limited identity and helps us feel his all-pervading presence everywhere. So the first is the space, when we talk about the space. Space remains undivided. We have put up walls and we name it. This is Puja Swamiji's room, that is store room, the other one is book room. Like that, but it's all undivided space only. We can demolish it, then it becomes, when the moment the demolition takes place, only there is one space. When we remove the walls and broaden it or shorten it, only the room space is affected, but space remains same. So a little bit of contemplation to know the all-pervading nature. And the beads and the garland, different flowers. Nobody recognizes the thread. Nice garland. Tulsi garland was very good. We only say that. So likewise, the Nami is the one infinite presence. When we chant Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
The space stands for the silence. The words stand for the word, sound. So through the words, we are trying to we are trying to feel his presence. The thread is he, flowers are, you can say again the sound or thought. Please think over, then only the real purpose will be served. There must be a reason why Papa prompted us to have this, elaborate how many times we have refined. Even now the refining goes on. So here we also get something, yes, not merely, we are not overlooking the examples. Space stands for the silence, undivided. And the sound that comes from the silence. Is the one which makes us feel, identify with that sound. Otherwise, stillness only. Nothing is there. So when we repeat Ram Nam, the sound comes. Where from the sound comes, we are slowly led to the silence. At the moment unseen. All these things will help us to go inward. That is the first tangible gain we have. At least for a tries, for a few seconds or for a minute. That's a great purpose. Because in the intro, you remember we said, the uniqueness of this approach lies in the fact that it does not ask the seeker to search for God somewhere else. Instead, through everyday example, it gently points out to the unseen behind the scene, the supporting power behind all activities of the manifestation, the stillness behind the sound, the witness behind the thought, and the Nami behind the Nama. So far we have been chanting, but to many of us, we have not recognized the Nami at all. Nama chanting goes on. But here an effort Papa wants us to take is Nami. Okay, we will go to the next. Flute does not produce music on its own. It becomes melodious only when the musician's breath flows through it. In the same way, a pen writes only when guided by a hand. Likewise, all our thoughts, words, and actions become meaningful only because of the power functioning through us. When we remember this, actions gradually lose their ego-centeredness and begin to flow more naturally, peacefully, selflessly. That inner power expressing through us is the Nami. Nama chanting with this understanding helps us become instruments of His love and wisdom. The flute does not produce music on its own. It becomes melodious only when the musician's breath flows through it. In the same way, a pen writes only when guided by a hand. Or now in the laptop, your hand only, Letters are there, so what? Likewise, all our thoughts, words, and actions. Thoughts, words, and actions, which emanate from us, become meaningful only because of the power functioning through us. When we remember this, actions gradually lose their ego-centeredness and begin to flow more naturally, peacefully, selflessly. Because the power with which now these words are uttered, it is an expression of a language, and language owes to him. The power owes to whom? The breath owes to. That is why in Bombay, and here also we tried that, yes, Namasava. After these 26 minutes, there will be 2-3 minutes for inward journey. Anybody who is blessed to go in with this, they will get a glimpse. So chanting does not stop with the chanting. 15 minutes of chanting, again repeatedly hearing the theme behind it, the guideline behind it. And at the end again we are trying to turn it inward. So that each half an hour Ram Nam session makes some impact, some deep impress within. Some guidance, some glimpses. A flute does not produce music on its own. It becomes melodious only when the musician's breath flows through it. In the same way, a pen writes only when guided by a hand. Likewise, all our thoughts, words and actions become meaningful only because of the power functioning through us. The greatest creation and the greatest gift of all is the human body and the immense intelligence that is reposed within it. It is nature's most wonderful work of art. Our heart beats about 1 lakh times a day and about 35 million times a year. It pumps 6 liters of blood through 1,20,000 kilometers of blood vessels in a day. In a second, we are producing 1.2 millions of red blood cells to replace an equal number that die. Our digestive and metabolic systems have the remarkable ability to transform the food we eat into blood, bone, and body structure. The air which we breathe but cannot see contains oxygen which is exchanged for the excess of carbon dioxide inside and then thrown out without us even knowing it. Every time we get a cut or a wound, within seconds there is a tremendous amount of activity in and around the wound to seal and heal it. When we were all in Wayanad, when we do manual work, there is every likelihood that we will get bruises or even, leeches. A leech bite will be there, then blood will be going. We will not do anything. It stops by itself. We remember that now. The defense system inside us is greater than the defense system of any country. It is greater and more foolproof than the security system around the president of the greatest of nations. A bad odor, immediately it reports. The heat or anything, cold, immediately the skin. Everything, the defense system is so perfect. Some disturbing sound, immediately it will say. Unpalatable food. We hardly take note of all these things. Only when a doctor writes like this, we can understand. The next line is on which you have to keep on pondering. The wisdom necessary to fertilize an egg and turn it into a fully grown man or woman is beyond our intelligence. In the case of coffee, we used to see that, no? The bud started trying to lean out by, say, December, January, February, craving for the rain. Then we get rain. On the 9th day night, after midnight, it starts opening. And at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, when you go to your estate, you will find the blooming, And then a wonderful, inviting fragrance. Then if you closely observe, you will find bees immediately rushing. That is why this fragrance. Intelligence, And when they come, they do the pollination without even their knowing. And by evening, morning it was full bloom. By evening, slowly it starts fading. The glowness. On that day, we don't enter the estate at all. After 2 or 3 days, the flower completely becomes black, dried. And it serves as a cover to the newborn baby. You can see that the fertilization has taken place and the berry is born. A tiny little berry. And this one protects from the heat and cold. So we, because of our anxiety to know the crop, once in a random we go and check how many clusters. In one cluster, so what can be the crop? We have some idea. Whether it is 1 ton per acre, 750 kilos per acre, 500 kilos per acre. Now, then it takes 9.5 months for it to mature, just like us. By December only, it is ripe for picking. Just imagine. So he says, now you apply hours. The wisdom necessary to fertilize an egg and turn it into a fully grown man or woman is beyond our intelligence. All these 200 and odd organs in a miniature form, the physical body, even the hair, and until it comes out, that what do you call it?
Umbilical cord.
What pipe?
Umbilical cord. Umbilical cord.
Umbilical cord. Who plants? At the helm of this pinnacle of perfection is the brain, overseeing all these meticulous activities. Now let us look at the other side of ourselves. Imagine yourself typing a letter while simultaneously watching a TV program, and suddenly you receive a phone call. How well can you perform all the 3 functions? Definitely not with any high level of efficiency. And that is only 3 activities, while our own inner intelligence is performing trillions of perfectly coordinated, harmonious activities every moment. All this clearly demonstrates beyond doubt that there are 2 sides to ourselves. Do we see them? Do we agree with this? Let us call them the body and the spirit, or man and God. Once we become aware of them, we come to believe in them, and soon we develop faith in them. Subsequently, we develop a method to use them for our benefit, and that is all of this book about. So we were reading. Likewise, all our thoughts, words, and actions become meaningful only because of the power functioning through us, about which we are not aware. And this me and mind completely takes over, making us deliberately unaware of this. So when we remember this, actions gradually lose their ego-centeredness and begin to flow more naturally, peacefully. Because even without that, even before this sense of individuality entered into our body, all these functions were going on, The child cries. Who taught the child to cry? That inner power expressing through us is the Nami. Nama chanting with this understanding helps us become instruments of His love and wisdom. One more, 5 minutes, okay. A movie appears on the screen, continues for some time, then disappears. But the screen remains before the movie begins, while it is playing, after it ends. In the same way, waves rise in the ocean, dance for a while, then merge back into the same water. Likewise, every event in life has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Suppose we all try to go back to our own life so far lived, So many types of thoughts, cravings, infatuation, desire, ambitions, target, relationship. Many keep changing. But somebody is there to observing the changes, Likewise, every event in life has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yet, all these unfold only in the field of awareness. I was a child, I was an adolescent. I was an adult. I was a youth. I was a middle-aged person. Now I am a senior citizen. I is constant, that awareness. That's what. That changeless awareness is the Nami. He is present before every experience, during its unfolding, after it passes away. Nama chanting with this understanding trains the mind to recognize his continuous presence behind all changing experiences. Beautiful. A movie appears on the screen, continues for some time, then disappears, but the screen remains before the movie begins, while it is playing, after it ends. In the same way, waves rise in the ocean, dance for a while, then merge back into the same water. Likewise, every event in life has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yet, all these unfold only in the field of awareness. Awareness, capital A. The changeless awareness is the Nami. He is present before every experience, during its unfolding, after it passes away.
Awareness is common thing, no, Swamiji. It might be all small age, but awareness is a constant thing.
Constant awareness. That
Because
awareness.
I am aware of this thing, I am aware of that thing.
Not the.
It comes and goes here and there. It's one thing only.
There are, we put it for the sake of understanding, there is a relative awareness and an absolute awareness.
But
I am aware,
awareness,
correct, but it is only same reflection. I am aware of
Yeah.
now talking. That is relative awareness. The particular, it refers only to this particular experience. Absolute awareness is something.
This
For
is the main cause of
yeah. Normally,
This is a substratum of this awareness.
Upanishads, they fully bring out an example at on a new moon day, Amavasi day. at 12 o'clock midnight, pitch dark everywhere. You are in this room sitting alone. To see anything, you need a light. But to know that you are sitting, do you need a light? That is awareness.
So the same example goes with your dream process also.
No,
Because you
just,
see yourself.
no, let us try to
as
concentrate
alive.
on. Let us try to concentrate on this.
But once you see the dream, you see the same.
That is
color,
right.
same
That is also right. That is
the
also
dream also.
that is also right.
So
But
in which light the dream is everything?
but here we are trying to concentrate on one example. That there is nobody there. For anything to be seen, you need a light. But to know that you are sitting, you don't need a light. That is why awareness is named as light. L-I-G-H-T. That is why a lamp is lit in the beginning of everything. That is why we do this arati. Upanishadic mantra is there. Natatra suryo bhadina chandra tarakam niyama vidyuto panti kutoyam agni. It's a symbolic presentation of this arati. To remember this. Light, 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 light. So that is the absolute one. So likewise, every event in life has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yet all these unfold only in the field of awareness. That changeless awareness is the Nami. He is present before our experience, during its unfolding, after it passes away. Nama chanting, with this understanding, trains the mind to recognize his continuous presence behind all changing experiences. So when we take up Nama chanting with this background, not in one go we will do that, we have seen that. But intense pondering, intense manana will throw us the light to become aware of the presence of the Nami. To us it will be a big struggle because so far we have been chanting for chanting's sake, So all these dimensions were not welling up in our mind. So the mind will resist. So we have to do some extra concentration. Initially it may be difficult. That is why the mind may not. But suppose we now go deeper into the example and deeper into the text. The manana will take place and then Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 So the awareness, that canvas, that base, it becomes accessible to us. More about it tomorrow. So I think the real purpose of Namosava is, yesterday he said, everything happens only by his will. Ram's will be done. When he kept on telling that, how to make it a reality in my life? Unless I blend it with everything I see, everything that I handle. So here is a method he has given to us, by which outer activities are also connected to him. We don't have to search for him outside. And then indwelling reality is also in the form of, he is there in the form of Nami, is slowly being recognized by us. So far we have been concentrating on Nama, not the Nami. Let us do some manana. More about it tomorrow. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Hari Om. They are leaving.